Hey everyone, Key of W, Artisan of Glimmith, Bricky. For those who religiously watch my videos, you already know I don't really like this section. But I want to also make clear, if you don't know, that my dislike of this section is purely personal. I just don't think this works to me, but I can't find a way to objectively say these puzzles are wrong. I'm preparing myself to have a hard time. That's what's going to happen here. So the thing about Bricky is that you're not allowed to have a point where four borders meet. Which basically means, so let's look at this spot right here. They got some things. We can't have a wall there and there. That is the thing about it. And the reason I dislike this is it ends up feeling very micromanagey. I've gone on in other videos, and I'm just going to leave it there. If you really care about my explanation, just wait a few minutes until I start complaining. Or you can always just watch a different video. So I know all regions here have to have an area between 3 and 5. And I can't have two regions next to each other which are the same size. So I got to put a region up here, and it's got to be at least 3 spaces. So we know this is going to happen. We also know there's going to be a wall here. That means we have to have a different region in this area, and this region has to extend this far. That is the bare minimum that we have to do here. We also need a region up in here. It can't be the yellow one, because it would be, first of all, it would be 6 things. So this is a different region, and yeah, so that's the end of this one. One of these two, at minimum, needs to continue into this space right here. Because if this is a new region, we have a brickiness violation. Can't do that. Thinking about down here, we got to extend this out. We got to take all 3 of these spaces. We could bring it up, but we could also end it there. We're not totally sure. That's got to be a wall. Now, I can't end this here because of the size separation, so we know the blue has to extend. Actually, they both have to extend. Hold on a second. This is also a 3. So these both have to extend because they can't be 3, but they're touching each other, so they can't both be 4. One of these has to become 5. Well, now this is a new region right here, right? This region right there has got to come out, be like that. So this forces us to have a 3 here, which means, so this can't be a 3, it's got to be a 4, which means this has to be 5 because, well, it can't be 4 and it can't be 3. So that, I think, locks us into this whole set, this half of the puzzle's done. As for the rest, well, let's think about brickiness. We can't have these two set like that. That can't happen. So let's give ourselves space like that. Oh, and this can't happen either, so it's got to go there. And this can't happen. So we have all of this. Hold on, this is going to break the puzzle. So I've done something wrong in here that I can't figure out. Is there a way that we change this up a bit? Because if we have everything come out here, like we have so many places where brickiness, we can't have that happen. But this, right? This is how we worked it out. We can't do this. We have to bring it out. Which means this, because size separation, we can't end it there. We have to bring this out. But now we can't end these. We gotta, one of them is gonna have to move. This can't go here, so now I do need a new thing here. It's gotta move, but it can't be there. It's too big. So this has to be 5. This has to be 4. So we're back in the same position we were, because I can't do that. So I can't have this, I can't have that, I can't have that. So now we have a piece that crosses. It touches a 3, a 4, and a 5. Everything it does will break the size separation. So something here is really messed up. Here, let me go back to the very beginning and work this out. Alright, start down here. This piece, we have to extend. It has to be at least 3, which means we got to extend it to there. So that doesn't change. We need a piece up here, and it's got to come out, but it can't move, so we have to have a new piece here. This can't come out because it won't go there, which means we have a new piece up here, which is too small. So this is 3. That means this comes out. We're still in the same position as before, because this can't be one unit. and it can't bend that way, and we can't end it because it's going to be the wrong size. This can't, yeah, we can't do that kind of stuff. So we're still in the same boat as before. Can I make this 5? And that 4 and this 5? It would be like this. Yeah, if I make this a 5, right, this won't come out. This is 5. It can't go here because now 2 4s are touching or 2 5s are touching. So it would be here. This would be 5. This might work. There's not a brickiness thing here. Yeah, this works totally fine. I just missed that. We're gonna have to put one here. So this is set. There's got to be somebody down there coming out at least that far. This is oh, this has to be it. The purple has got to be done because we're touching 5 and 4. This is touching 3 and 5, so it has to be 4. Whatever's in here is just touching 5, so it can be anything. It can't be 3 if it moves down here. That would have to be bigger. Hold on. Whatever is here is touching a 3 and a 5, so it also has to be 4. This can't move here because that's a problem, so that is that. So now we're touching 3 and 4 with this. It's got to be 5. So this is 4. No, hold on. This is 4. And then our 5 is like that. There we go. That's pretty clever. I am going to say this, knowing that there's probably some smartass in the world who will watch this video and then tell me in the comments. It's going to happen, even if I only get 1 comment ever and only 2 people watch this video. Okay, my question is, at what point in that solution did I ever consider this? The only time I thought about Bricky was when I did the wrong solution. So if this rule were gone, what would change? What? Yeah, what was this rule doing here? Did this, okay, whatever. This has happened a couple times. Not necessarily with the Bricky rule. It's been a couple times I've solved a puzzle and I just didn't consider a rule. And I wonder, is it because I was just following that instinctively? But I don't recognize where I followed that rule. I always was doing it based on size separation. All right, we have the same set of rules here. So yeah, we got to bring this guy out. Do we have any places where it's just like obvious there's something happening? We could bring this purple over, but we'd have to move it again because this is Bricky here. So we'd have to move it. We can even do that. I'm not sure. This is a little trickier as I don't see like an opening move. I don't know, I guess personally I found with this game, and really a lot of puzzle games, the perceived difficulty really comes down to how quickly you spot move number 1. If I spot move number 1 really easily, the puzzle can be as hard as you like and I'll enjoy it. If I don't spot move 1 quickly, it doesn't matter how easy the puzzle is, I'm going to feel like a moron. I don't see move number 1. And part of it could just be, I still haven't really processed how Bricky works. And I don't really know if it's even the dev's fault at this point, because the most puzzles are here. Like, this is the biggest area in the game. The devs are really trying to make sure you know this one, because it's such a different rule from all the others. But it's just not getting through my thick skull what I'm supposed to be doing in puzzles like this. I look at this and go, I could start anywhere, and I don't have an obvious move, so where is it? Like, if I don't move this piece up, if I have a new piece here, well, this doesn't really tell me anything. Like, I don't have to worry about this section. I already know that it's not Bricky here. That can't have a corner piece here, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means whatever piece is here has to go at least there or there. But that doesn't help me. How about here? Does this one work? I mean, I guess if I put a wall here, it would cause some constraint. Like, I'd have to do this, and then I'd have to do this with a different section. But is that constraint really anything? This piece here could belong to that, as far as I'm aware. I could do this as long as I make sure this is separate region. These regions go together. I'm just trying to find something I can use that isn't a guess, and so far I'm coming up pretty empty-handed. And if it's a case of something that I should know by now, I just don't, and I don't know. I just don't know what on earth this is. How am I supposed to go forward? Is it like these corners maybe or something? But the only thing I know about the corners is I can't add two pieces to it. There's nowhere yet I can see that is in danger of Bricky, right? Everything, I can add a wall to literally any space with zero problems. There's zero problems from doing this, right? I just have to not add two walls, and I don't have any issue with that. So where can I try something that causes a problem? Maybe if I try a wall here, it creates a constraint down here. But that constraint doesn't really stop me from just, I would do this. And since I have to have at least 4, I have to put it here. Maybe the range 4 to 5 is the trick, but like, I don't know. I just don't see how it's obvious how I would do that. This here would then force these two to go together. And it couldn't be a new region because it would be touching 2 different sizes. So it'd have to be one region. It would have to be this. And then we'd have to add another piece somewhere. Like if I did. But I'm guessing. I'm just guessing this is how it's done. I really don't know. Is there a way, like if I said that there isn't a wall there, does that break something? No, because like this isn't a problem. How do I know for sure? If I put a wall here, it still doesn't do anything. If I put a wall there, well, it's the same issue now. This still just needs to be these 4, and then I also can do like this, right? No, I can't do this. So I guess I'm supposed to figure out that if I ever have a case like this, it's over. Because there's a 4 and there's a 5. And you can't have anything but 4 and 5, so this has to be 4 and that has to be 5, and that makes Bricky. So I guess I just have to come to a place where I never make this a 3-way wall happen anywhere in the main region. Maybe that's the trick? But how do I get there from here? I guess putting a wall here would be a problem. Yeah, if I put a wall here, does this cause a problem? Because if I bring this up this way... Well, I could do... This seems to be fine, because now we have this 4, you can just touch it with a 5. Like, you can do some weird shit here. 1, 2, plus 13. This wouldn't work, though, because I would need to have a 4 here. No, this is actually just totally... This would just totally work. So I just see it. I just see the answer, which is super unsatisfying. I still don't know how I'm supposed to get to that without me just trying shit. Like, I just tried this to see if it would work. Like, I did figure out that you couldn't, certain patterns would make Bricky, but I didn't see a way to, like, look at this puzzle and see where the danger of those patterns was. I just don't get it. Like, I solved it, but I still feel stupid. I still don't understand it. And I personally believe that if you as a developer are creating puzzles and people are solving them without knowing how, you need to start over. You just need to start over, or you need to figure out some way. Sorry, like, you're not going to get everyone to succeed at every puzzle, but I have had so many puzzles in this game where I don't feel like I've understood it even though I've solved it, and I just think you got to start over when that happens. Like, you got to ask why, how is that possible? Like, I just don't feel good. I feel like an idiot. Cuz I want to know the answer. I don't want to like see the answer. I don't know. That was just a real disappointment. One of the biggest disappointments of my day so far, and I've just started my day. Bricky, Boxy, Rose Windows. Boxy's a nice one to do. So it's got to be at least 3 pieces here inside those 4. Let's see. Let me find a spot. It's got to have some fun. Well, okay, well, let's just start it here. This piece right in here, it's got to take those 2 for sure. But it doesn't have to take any more than that. Could take that piece or not. This one is guaranteed to take this square, and then these 2. That's all we've got left. We do have to take those. So we'd have to take the rest. There's just no getting around it. So the question is, what will make brickiness in here? This is fine, and this is fine. I think the answer to this problem is whatever creates brickiness. But I don't think we're going to get that answer yet. Let me find a spot. Oh, I think this dead end's actually telling me a lot. Right? This dead end right here. Because it's got to touch something, and because of the boxiness, we now can't extend it left or right in any way. It has to be a straight line. And it has to go at least that far. Which is going to also tell us what this guy's doing. This square can't touch any other circles but this one, and then it can't extend any further than that as the max. But we don't know where else it's going to go, right? Yeah, we do. Has to go to the space below. Both the space below, actually. Here's why. If this was a new space, right? Because of boxy, I can't bend. That's not going to happen. So I can't touch anything. So this shape has to come down that far. Well, I mean, this just gives us our answer to here, which I probably should have known sooner. Like, if I wasn't complaining about things all the time, I would have caught this one. That one's set. So now here... this is where brickiness comes in. I was like, I haven't really used this yet. It's going to come in right here because I'm going to set up this piece, bring it up. But if I stop it here, that's bricky right there. We can't do it. So it's got to go up at least 1 space. Possibly all the way, but we don't know. Not totally sure what to do in this section. There's a lot of options. Like, I could stop this here. If I did that, I would have to make sure these 2 are the same unit, and I could just make this thing happen. No, I could not do this. The reason I could not do this is now I can't put a wall there. So I would do this, but now what's this going to do? So it's possible one of these goes up, but not sure which one. Well, that's all I know. Hold on, that's there. Let's think about it. If we blocked this here now, what would this touch? No, we got to bring this all the way up. So that is done, and this is done. Probably should have done this first, and then this would have been so much easier. So this can't move up. Yes, because we have that issue. If we make a wall here, then we can't put a wall there, which is going to force us to have a problem. So we got to block that. We've got to have this piece now move up through there, at least that far, maybe all the way. Not sure. We could have something like that. And then this wonderful piece here. Have I used every color? Yeah, I've used every color so far. Let's put that in there. Not like I'm trying to. I'm just looking for, like, what's a color that's not close to these. And I look through the colors I've used. But I've used them all. So, is there a disadvantage to this? Well, I know if I did this, I'd have to bring it all the way up. Not sure which direction this one goes yet. The stuff in here, though. Let me think of it this way. This zone down here, it's got to also move left, whatever's in this corner. Because if it doesn't move left, we don't touch anything in the rose windows, and then we get fired. So we got to bring it over, and then we got to bring it up somewhere. So it's actually got to take all these spaces. So then we do in fact take this space, so all of that is done. And that should avoid brickiness just fine. Yeah, see, this one's actually working out for me really well. I like this one. I feel like I'm working a little harder than 3, but not so much that I it's making me fucking pissed off. But I like it, but I think I like it most because I'm mostly working out of these rules and only using Bricky as a final constraint. Rather than looking for brickiness like I did in the previous puzzle and just, I can't find that shit. I just don't see it. God help me, I just don't see it, and if you don't see it, there's nothing you can do. Alright, this piece right here can't be a single line like that, so it's got to move here, and if it does this, it's gonna touch those. So now, the only thing that our friend over here can touch is this circle. Because if it doesn't touch that circle, it's a straight line to nowhere. So we're going to do this, which means we can't put something here. So our good friends here are going to be joined, which means they're not going to be joined there. This circle now can only touch that square. What do we get from that? If this piece here is a new section, it's not part of the cyan, then what will it touch? So it is. Same with this section down here. If this is not part of the purple, we're in trouble, so it is. If this isn't part of the purple, we're fine. We can't have that happen. So this purple can't extend upward, because then we would have brickiness. See, like I use it occasionally, but I'm mostly focused on this stuff. So it's easier to see bricky if it's the last thing I'm looking for. It is really hard to see it if I'm looking at an empty map. So these two go together. We're going to call you green or teal, whatever. Sometimes the teal looks more green than teal. I don't know, it's just me. This is definitely a bluer green than that is. Not a huge deal. So is it a single? Like we could have a single line there. We could do some stuff here. We're not totally sure about that. All right, now comes the fun part. What goes there? What does go here? I feel like this is either going to take, because it can't be a box shape, like a 2x2. It's going to be a straight line. The reason it can't be a not straight line, if it's a not straight line, it means it takes these two here, right? So it's got to take that one. Now, if it takes this circle, this shape is dead. It can't go anywhere. Whereas it takes this circle, it takes that square, and we have to die. We just have to die. There's no way out. So it's either going to be this shape here, or it's going to take these and then go at least that far. Thing about taking these is that now we have trouble down here. If we take this with this shape, well, we have to take that. Well, now how on earth? This piece here can't be part of any of those, so it would have to take both of those, and now we're in trouble there. So I think from that we can work out this shape here, which I'm going to give another cyan thing. I'm going to move it over. It's going to take those here, which is going to give us that. Now, that means this, that, and then let's put a little blue there, and we're done. Nice. And again, I didn't really use Bricky, except in like a couple spots. So it's great. Honestly, the more puzzles you can have where it's the fun rules, and then once or twice I pull this out. I liked it. Personally, felt harder than a 3 to me, but that's on me. Although I will continue to say to the devs, who are obviously watching every video I watch, because what else do you have to do with your life but watch a YouTuber with 50 subscribers? But like, you should just remove these. Don't have difficulty markers. Because the absolute best case scenario is that you have worked your game so meticulously that your difficulty markers are an accurate reflection of reality. And if you are in any way imprecise in this, you create puzzles where my experience of the puzzle doesn't match what you told me it is, and it's worse somehow for it. Like, I think of the greatest puzzle games I've ever played. They don't tell me how difficult a puzzle is before I start. I just start the puzzle, and if I think it's hard, the game leans in and tells me, yeah, you're right. That was a hard puzzle. You're so smart for solving it. But if I walk into a puzzle that tells me, oh, it's only 4, that's not that hard, and I struggle with it, feels like the game is telling me, you're a fucking moron. You should have figured that one out. You didn't. So, yeah, just don't use this. Just, if you're a game developer and you're like, what should I do? I'm going to make a puzzle game someday. My one recommendation from this entire Let's Play of this game, don't do this. Do not tell me how hard your game is ahead of time. Let me figure it out. Let me feel like I'm a brilliant savant for figuring out a puzzle that you as the dev personally thought was easy. All right, this ain't gonna happen, right? No, that can happen. We can totally do this. Just Bricky and area number. This feels like there's a lot of options. What do I do here? The rest of the stuff doesn't have to be 2s, just these. So I've got to make sure. Is there, like, this doesn't do much. I mean, this would force me not to do that. No, this is fine. It's just, what's going on here? If I move this over, it does create a constraint to move that over. But that's like, if I do this, then that happens. It doesn't give me a definite answer. It's just, well, what if I did that? Well, I could then say, what if I did this? And then what if I did that? What if I did this? It doesn't really get me anywhere. If I move this over, I'd have to move that. I could avoid that problem simply by doing this, but nothing. Can't do that. So this 2 moves over or this moves over. It's really all I know is either I have this happen or I have that happen. It doesn't really help me. Can I narrow things down by doing this? If I move this over, I could do this. I just can't do both of these. Right? I can't do both of these. That's not much of a constraint because I can do whatever I like. You know, I can just, it's fine. If this moves up, do we have a problem? There's got to be something with these 2. There might be some like fundamental aspect of brickiness that to the devs was such an obvious thing because they've worked on the game forever that is just not being communicated. There's just something about this. The communication is broken down. Whatever the devs are trying to tell me about this rule isn't happening. I'm just not getting it. And at a certain point, like, there are only 2 options. Either I'm just a big thicko. I refuse to believe that because I'm solving 6s and 7s left and right. The other option is whatever they're trying to tell me just isn't coming through. And maybe that's their fault. Maybe that's just how life is. But it's frustrating me no matter what. Okay, I think I found it. I think I found it. It's here. It's right here in this spot I've looked but didn't see it this whole time. That's another thing. I eventually see these, but I feel like a moron every time. I feel like I should have seen this in 2 seconds, and I didn't. So I feel like a fucking moron. Right here, I can't move up because that's Bricky. There it is. It has to be left or it has to be down, which is going to force me to make this move. And it's going to do the same thing up here because this is going to make brickiness here. So it's left or down. That's the move. Now, this can't move left because it's bricky, so we got to move down. Great, we have a puzzle. Got to move that out, which means we have to move that down. And then this guy doesn't have to do anything. We have to... this can't move right now. This piece has to move down in some ways. Make it not orange because we don't know if it is a domino. This can't move this way? No, it can. It's totally fine. I need the same thing to happen. I need the same logic to happen somewhere. Ah, gotta have something there. Which means what exactly? We can still do quite a bit here. I just know that I can't do this. In fact, I can't do this at all. Because if I move this 2 to the left, now if the 2 moves down, we have brickiness here. So it would have to move to the right, but it would create brickiness there. So that's what I'm supposed to see right there. This now has to move down because otherwise we have bricky here. Bricky here is a problem, so these have to be connected, and those have to be connected. So we got to do this and that and that. So, like, I'm going to say, looking at this from a pure puzzle perspective, this is fine. It is a fine puzzle. The logical path is really good. But it's really, for some reason, it's just hard to see it. And that makes it more frustrating. It makes, even though it didn't feel like it was harder than a 4, it felt like I had to bite and claw and scratch my way to a puzzle answer And that's just unsatisfying. It's just unsatisfying. I can't say anything else about it. I don't know how you fix it. It could just be that's how puzzles are, and I'm just a big moron for not seeing it that way. But that's just how it feels. All right, what do we got? So we just got a bunch of these shapes. Now, these can't all be different ones. We got to blend them together, right? These three, because if they're all different, we have brickiness. But does that mean they have to all be together? I don't think so. Okay. This piece can't extend 2 spaces up, so it's got to extend down at least once. This space has to extend at least once to the left. This one once to the right. All right. Which means it's here. If I made this 3x3 like that, we would have a single here, and we're bricky. So I cannot extend it both directions. Doesn't mean it's here. It could be here or here, but it means it's not a part of this guy. This is not a part of that one. Actually, if this is not a part of that one, does this cause brickiness? No, because then that can be part of that. It's really fine. Okay, well, that doesn't get me as far as I wanted, but that is okay. This piece has to move up, and that's all I know. If I do block this off, what's it mean? It means I can't... I mean, I could just do this. It's totally fine. Actually, hold on just a second. These two can't be together. Let's get rid of that wall for a second. These two can't be together because then they can't move left or right because they overload. Look at that. Brilliant. These two got to be separated, which means they are part of those. Did we get anywhere else from that? Oh, this can't go down because it makes that problem I showed earlier with Bricky. So it's got to go up. And then we have to have our solo pieces here. Which means we can't have a wall there. This has to be at least 2, but it could be a 3. We're not totally sure. This has got to extend this far down, which means this now can only extend 1 space to the left. So we got to go like this. And we can't make it here because we're going to have that same problem in this corner. Shoo. This piece can't extend too far to the right, so it's got to extend here. We have a potential problem. Oh, this has to be a 2x2 now. There you go. That's got to go there. So this is now complete, like so. So this is complete. And we got some more of these. We can't have a 3x3 here because it's going to overlap with that. So we got to have 2x2. Because you can't have 1x1 or you have Bricky. We've been over this, my friend. All right, let's make this here. So now I think... Do we just have the answer? Yeah, we just have the answer. We should just make 2 of these like this. Excuse me, my friend. What do you... Thank you. Yeah, that actually felt nice. Like, they're not all bad. I just want to make... I should make that clear as well. I'm a whiny little bitch, I know. I know it. They're not all bad. But when they are, it fucking irritates me. This one's good. I'm going to say this one's a good one. It was also easier. It tends to be that if a puzzle's good, I'm going to find it easier than a puzzle that's bad. But that's not always true. But, like, that one felt like just the right amount of logic, and it didn't feel like I was hunting every single fucking pixel to find a Bricky. Which is what most of these turn into. Mismatch. All right. Well, these side pieces right here are telling us... hold on, this is the face. There's his eyeballs, there's his nose balls, and there's his mouth balls, and there's his ears. So the mismatch is telling us, and with this side piece, we're going to have a single, a domino, and a triomino. Because the only way. One of these, like this, is going to be like that. All I know is this is not the single, because that creates brickiness. We do have that, so this is at least 2. So this could be a single here, we could have a triomino, and then we don't know. We just know that that's that, which means every other shape has to be an elbow or something 4 or larger, right? Because I can make a 3 if it's just this. And in fact, this has to be at least that far. This piece is new, and it must be at least 3. Don't know if it's more than that. These ones down here are going to have the same issue. It's got to come up at least that far. This one has to come up at least that far. And it can't go there, so that's done. Oh, this has to be a new shape as well. This shape, this can't be part of the blue. It can't be part of the red. It's not going to make it in there. So we're going to make ourselves a nice green shape. It's got to be at least 3. And it can't bend that way. Okay. One of these two is now the elbow shape. That is guaranteed. Hold on, we got to do this. Any brickiness? Ah, there's brickiness there. So this is an S shape. We got an elbow here. It means this has to extend. Because of this, we can't put anything there. We actually have our triomino right there. It's going to give us a domino and a single. Not sure where we're going to put them yet. This has to extend because we already have our elbow. This, is now just that. Here, there, there. This felt way easier than 4. I expected way more than that from a 4. I don't know. It's just off. It's just off. It's fine. Stop being a little whiny. I don't know. But yeah, one of the reasons it also felt a little more fun is that I was mostly focused on this and not that. This, not that. This, not that. I'm going to spend, it's going to be an hour-long video, 45 minutes of which are me bitching. That's just what it's going to be. Get used to it. That's fine. Oh, fuck! Hate this fucking... Okay. It's counts 20 spaces. Okay. It's not going to be singles. That would be the most obvious thing ever, but it's Bricky. It's not going to be dominoes? Could I fit 10 dominoes in these spaces without creating brickiness? Let's try. It would have to go like that. Then we'd have to have that. We'd have to have that, which is Bricky. Right. Just making sure. This piece has to be that domino. Now we can't have that, so we have to do this. We'd have to have that. We'd also have to have that, and there's Bricky. Cool. Just making sure. It's not a domino. Can't be a triomino because it's not going to go to 20, so it could be a tetromino. See, I don't know. Maybe there's a way to do this that isn't fucking stupid. But it kind of seems like I just have to try every version of a shape I know until I find one that does a puzzle. At which point I don't actually have to do a puzzle. I just have to fit the pieces that I've already done. But all the work has to be done ahead of time, and I hate doing that. Like, why would you design it like this? Okay, let's try. Okay, we have to either have an S shape or an L shape. If we're going with that, I'm going to try an S shape. Already broken. Let's try an L shape. Can I put L shapes in here? Yes, I can put L shapes. Now let's see what happens if I try them in here. This is so fucking boring. That was... See, look. Bah. See, once I was like, let's try an L shape, then it was just... It was like less than a 1 difficulty. But I just had to sit here and go through all the fucking shapes... God, that's stupid. It's fucking... Okay, moving on. All right, let's find... I don't want to do 5s and 6s and 7s today. Bricky precision. All right. And so now it's like we're just saying, hey, instead of going through every shape, we're just going to tell you it's 4 and then figure it out from there. So this shape is L or S. We're not sure which one it is quite yet. L, like there's potential for brickiness, but it's not immediate. This is just Bricky. That's just Bricky. Can't do that. There you go. There you go. That's a good start. That's a good start. See, yeah, I mentioned earlier, it's about the break-in. This one felt like that was the first move. Number 1 was really easy on that. So I'm looking at this going, are we sure this is a 4? You know what I mean? Like, I'm already doubting myself because I see this number. Just don't put the number in. Just don't put the number in. This has to be an L or an I. There's nothing about the 2 of the same shape next to each other. Oh, I shape can't happen. That's Bricky. We can't have brickiness in here. That is just not going to be allowed. These 2 pieces have to go together. This can't be a solo piece. So either these 3 or these 3. Hold on. These pieces have to go together, but then we have to move either this way or that way. But it doesn't tell me which one. Oh, hold on. if these two pieces go together, follow me on this one. This is actually kind of clever. I feel like this is the first time I've thought of a Bricky rule in a clever way rather than an annoying way. These two right here, they have to go together. We can't put a wall there. I'm going to do it in a different color for a second. Yeah, I'm going to do it in yellow. Now, I obviously can't stop it here because that's Bricky. So I have to move it down. Well, this one can't move up because it creates Bricky. And it can't move this way? No, it can move this way. Yeah, it can move this way is the only thing I can do there, right? Like I have to move this down. I have to move that down. And then I can't move that up. I have to move it here. So I have another L. If they're all L's, I think we're going to have a problem. But it's fine. This can't be an L. L shape would be this. That's fine. This. I already know there's not brickiness there. We have at least. This is at least that. This is at least that. This piece has to come out, and then it has to either move there or there, because otherwise we're bricky. So, what's it tell me? This is fine. No, this can't be an L piece going down. The reason is this would be an S piece, and now we're bricky here. So if it moves down, it still has to move somewhere else. This is bricky, actually. Hold on. If I move down, I can't go here, and then I can't go there. I'd have to go here, and that's bricky. So I can't move down. There you go. Problem solved. We have to move this way. There's brickiness potential here, so we have to go either this way or that way, which means we don't go that way. These two pieces have to go together. Yeah, I feel like the bricky is more visible in this one. It's probably because of all these pieces here. Like, if you imagine a more flat puzzle without these holes in the middle, then brickiness is just way too hard to see. But here, there's so many of these that they cause a lot of little joyful conjunctions. This piece has to extend down. This does have to be an L now, because if it's not an L, if these two orange pieces don't go together, we have an S piece. Oh, no, it doesn't create bricky because this is now a new section. Ah, crap. Thought I had it. I didn't have it. I didn't have anything. Is there a reason they can't be together? It would force me to... Oh, yeah. Okay. If this is all an L piece, I have to have an I piece here, and that creates bricky. That's why. So these are different. So we do, in fact, have an S piece here, which means I do have to bring that out. Well, L is the only shape that fits. I is the only shape that fits here. And we... Nope, we got to bring that up. This has to come up. This is another I piece. There's just nothing we can do about it. And then over here... This is going to be an interesting space. If I have an S shape, this has to go here, but this is an S shape. This is bricky. No getting around it. So we have an L shape here, which means to avoid brickiness here, we have an I shape right there. All right. This, yeah, this has to come out, but is it, that could be part of this unit? We don't know. If it doesn't be part of the unit, I'd have to take this space, but either that one or that one is fine. This doesn't help me. If I make this part of the same thing, I'd have to make these two the same. It's too much guessing. How about over here? If I... there's a potential issue here. Maybe I should start up in this corner. Maybe I'm meant to get this far and then go to this corner. So this corner's got to move this far. And then it could be an S shape and break the puzzle, or it could be an L shape and be the correct one. S shape creates bricky in this spot. So it starts with the same issue as this one. This can't be an I shape because there's already a 2 domino here. So it does have to be an L shape here, which is going to make an L shape there. Make it a little bit lighter so I can see the walls. Yeah, that means this can't be part of 2 set shapes. This has to be the same one. This, got to do that. So we could make an I shape. We could make a couple different shapes with that. Not really an easy answer, is there? Hold on. We can't have a wall there. This is an L shape. There's a lot of L shapes on this board. Not that I'm complaining. I am just noticing that L is the letter of the day. This is fine. Hold on a second. If I bring this piece over, I have to bring it over again or down. So I can do this, or I can do an I shape or an L shape. Does the L shape break it? Does the L shape break? It creates a lot of constraints, but it doesn't break it. So this is all I know for absolute certain. I'm enjoying this one. And it doesn't actually feel like 4. Even though it's slow going, I feel like I'm making the progress in the right way. It feels really good to play this puzzle. How about I start with this obvious spot I've been ignoring and move this out? So I can't bring this down, make it an L. We have brickiness here, right? So, because I can't take both of these spaces with this particular cell, or this particular shape, this one has to take here. Because if it does, if I put a wall here, this is just what we have. Then we have brickiness. So that goes there. And we can't do brickiness, so we need to have our O shape there. So now I can't do this. I can do this just fine. These two have to go together. So either this is one I shape or this is something else. That wasn't super helpful. If I bring this up, then I have to make it an L shape. And then I have to do this. And I have brickiness! There it is. So if I bring this up just once, but not the other way, it's not going to work. So this does have to be an I shape going through there. It means we got to do that. This has to come out. Could be an L shape, or we could do the thing from before. This seems to be fine. Whatever's here can't be part of this shape or that shape, and it's got to move out at least one space, which means it can't end here. Gotcha. So this can't be an I shape, which means this shape has to be part of that one. We get ourselves an S shape here, so it is just like the space down here, basically. Hold on, is this just symmetrical? Is this just a symmetrical puzzle? It's starting to look like it's just a symmetrical puzzle to me. Which has somewhat dampened my enjoyment of it, because the thing about symmetrical puzzles is once you see that they're symmetrical, you don't have to do as much work to figure it out. It's like, well, okay. It was a good one, though. I did like it, but it was a bit like the original Half-Life, an amazing experience until the very end. Alrighty, how about this? This is a possibility. This is a possibility if we want to lose, because that's Bricky. So let's take this possibility. It's the only way we can do this. Can I get anything else from that? I know these two are going to go together. Won't be like this. That's Bricky. So it will be like this. This has to move at least that far. These two have to go together, but they could be part of this, or they... hold on. If I move this up, we have a problem. So we got to move that all the way down. This fella has two options. We can't move this far over. So it's either this, or it's this. Now, I hope you can obviously see that I have created multiple Bricky areas by doing this. So this is not going to happen. We have this arrangement, which does put some constraints here and there. Which means down here, we can't move to the left because we will create a problem. Because if then we move up, we'd have to move left again. So we can't move left at all. So this shape, whatever it is, it might just be those two. But now we have to move to the right. We can't do this. We can't move up because then we are going to create a Bricky. So we have to move to the right, and then whether we go this way or that way is anyone's guess. How about you? This one can't extend this far, so it is here? No, it has to be this. No. It has to be that. We can go into this corner. That's the only option. Because if we go this way, we have brickiness right there. And if we go this way, we have right there. So this is the only option I have. There's your S piece. This L. Haha. This L now has to be both of those. So this is the only way to do it. So we got a single piece right there. That has to be together, whatever it's a part of. That means this S piece can't go down into there. So it can't go up. It can. If it goes left, can't do this because we block in that L shape. If it goes this way, we have a couple options. Oh, does this have any options? This is as far as we can go here. I can bring either this purple comes down or this orange comes in because I can't make it a single look. That's bricky. These, once again, these has to be together. I'm not sure how. How about this one here? Can't extend that way, so it's here or here. Neither of them are obviously bricky, but it's got to take that space, which means this has to come down. And now, what do I do with this? I lose. Nah, because I see this wrong. I'm not constricted on this side. I can do it this way, but I can also do it this way. I should probably just think of it this way. If this piece comes down, no. This has to move up, because if I don't move up, I can't make this piece work. So that moves up, which means this is how it is. Or this. This is a workable thing. Either of these are workable at the moment. Either this... No, this can't move in. It'll be bricky no matter what. That'll be bricky no matter what, right? Because this can't be part... This 2x2 can't be part of any of these others. So we would create bricky by moving over. But this would definitely also cause a problem. So I think we have to do it this way. And we have to just have a triomino. We have to do this. Put a single here. I'm going to just make our singles orange today. A single here. No. This is busted. How do I do this thing? Definitely. If I move this over, can I do... That's just so bad. Yeah, I can't do this because that's bricky. If I move this over here, I could... see, that's going to be a problem. Not unless... I can't do that either. Okay, something's up with this corner that I don't understand. Can I do this? No, this is bricky. That's bricky. Yeah, they had to be this. So it's either here or there. So this was still right. Now here, if I put a wall there, I can't. So it has to go like that. This has to go up, which means this now has to be here. This looks great, but it's bricky. So it would be here. This is so bricky. This doesn't work. This looks better. That's not right. It's here. That. Are we good? Is this it? That's it. I think... Oh, I just didn't, like, consider this S going up. That's just what I didn't consider. That one's fine. I got a little more stuck in it, but I think that's a good one. I have no complaints about that puzzle. Which you should be saying hallelujah because of how many complaints I have elsewhere. Alright, I might have to jump into 5s. No, let's do... Oh my god. Sorry, just eyesore. Bricky rose windows. Alright, where to begin with this monstrosity? All of them are going to be pentominoes, it looks like. So you got five shapes. You got the circle, triangle, square, diamond, and hexagon, whatever. And there's no squares or no cells that don't have one of those, so they're all pentominoes. Don't know if that's going to be helpful necessarily. I just got to figure out where I can... Aha! There's something going on here. There's just a lot of purple, a lot of hexagon here. So whatever is in this space can only pick one of them? Is that right? That might be something. It's not like super obvious to me because I'm here and going like, well, it could be any of them. What happens if I try? Like if I go this direction, I can't take, if I take this one here. I can also think of this piece. How far can it get out? It has a lot of routes out, unfortunately. So if I start with this piece here and say it goes this way, well, then it can't take any of that. It would have to, this square can't take here because now it's trapped down there. It has to go up, but it's never going to reach a triangle. Therefore, we can say it doesn't go through that. Now, it might not take this circle. It might take that circle, so it'll be blocked here, in which case we have a couple options. If we go through this one, again, we can't go to the right. We don't have a circle. We'd have to take that or that. If we go through this way, we need... we would take one of these and we take this circle. We have some options. See, we have too many options here to go forward. We have to find something else. But this looked like a spot I could use. It might actually start with this hexagon, though. Because this hexagon can only take those two. Actually, the square does have to move left. Yeah, I started with the square. That was wrong. Bozo. No. Start with this hexagon. Because what square can this hexagon touch? It can touch this one. It can touch that one if we want to break the rules. So it can touch that one if we want to break the rules. Therefore, this goes here, which means blah, blah. And the only way to reach a circle is that way. The only way to reach the triangle is here, and then we just have a choice between these two. So now we have something to start with. Let's make a nice purple here. That's going to come up, and this is going to come up. Does that get me anywhere? Gets me somewhere, I bet. Make a green right there. So this piece doesn't, I don't know. Don't know what to do with that one. How about here? Got to come out, and then we have so many options. So we didn't necessarily get our answer from that, but at least we got started. Because here, if I move, actually, hold on. If I move this up, if I say up, and I grab that square, well, now I'm in trouble if I grab this square. Because I need to grab a triangle. I can't grab that one. I've grabbed this one, and this poor guy right here is left all by himself, like me in high school. So we're going to leave that like so, and we're going to take that square. Having taken that square, does it prove? It means that we have to take that triangle because we now can't reach that one. So we do have to take those. But we can take both of those squares, or we can take both of those. Really not anything. Hold on. Let's suppose we didn't do this. Oh yeah, there's a whole Bricky rule. I haven't even thinking about the Bricky rule. Well, let's pretend Bricky didn't exist because the world would be a better place. Then we would, if we said we put that here and Bricky didn't exist, we'd be like, this is a new section. It's going to come up. Well, it can't touch that, so it's got to move over. And it can't touch this one, so it'd have to go here, and now we have an empty thing. So the Bricky rule doesn't even matter. But we do have to bring that up for that reason. Let's think about... Do we take that? Well, we know we don't take that anymore. So do we take this circle or that one? Does not look like there's an obvious thing. Now that I'm remembering Bricky exists, I should think about it. That might be the trick. Because if I block this here, these are together. Even if Bricky wasn't true, those would be together. This has got to be different. Well, that's a universe where this exists, right? It creates Bricky here unless I put the purple in, which I'd have to do. It's fine. I could just do this. Hold on a second. Is there any reason? Hold on, just a minute. Why wouldn't I just do this? Is there any way? So the triangles are sort of the capstone. I take one of them. If I were to say that we don't take that triangle, then which one would we take? We took this one. We have a couple options there. If we took this one, we just have a lot of options for circles. No, this would create Bricky. If I said this is the triangle here, there's no way to avoid it. No, we do this to avoid Bricky. It would cause some constraints elsewhere, but it wouldn't be Bricky. No, we still don't get anywhere with that. But like, this feels like the safest thing. Is it though? No, it is not. If I said this triangle, the purple triangle, or the purple segment takes the triangle on the right, the reason this doesn't work is that now I can't touch these triangles, so I have to fill in with a cross shape. The cross shape here is nice and pleasing, but it creates quite the constraint. I can't have walls here, or here, or here. And so now, what do I do with this diamond? Because I can't, this has to now touch the diamond. So this is a new unit, but it can't reach a hexagon. Because it's going to touch two squares. Unless I do it this way. Actually, hold on. This unit now has to touch a square and a triangle, and it's that. So we're trapped. Or we do this way, and now we have Bricky. So from that, we can determine, let's make this orange again, that these walls are stupid. That the orange takes the triangle. Which actually makes sense as well from the perspective of this diamond. Because like if this diamond, it's not part of the green. If it was part of the orange, we would be forced to make brickiness. So it's got to be a new thing. And if this is a new thing, let's make it red. Let's make it dark blue. Then it has to take the triangle in order to escape. So yeah, this has to take that triangle. And then this has to take here, and then the only square it can reach is there. So this has to take these pieces. Let's make it a little bit lighter blue. So the question is, do we take this and lose, or do we take this one and win? That's the question for the ages. So now we've got to take that. We have this answered. Woo! So now to avoid brickiness here, we got to bring the purple up, and then up again to avoid brickiness there. So now it's a question of which square do we take? That's a question I don't care to answer yet. Hold on a second. No. I thought I had it. I thought I had something happen in my brain that was brilliant, and it wasn't. It just went out like a disappointing fart. So we have a new space down here. Got to take these. It could take this diamond, but regardless, it has to take these two. Because if it takes this diamond here, it could come this way. Has to take this piece though. That's the hexagon it has to take. So now that's the square this yellow has to take. Think about brickiness, baby. Oop. We don't know about that. Don't know. This? Do we have problems? I keep feeling like if I did this, what problems would I cause? Don't know if I'd cause any problems. If this was a new region here, like if I have a new region there, okay, yeah, it would have to be this hexagon. And I could do this just fine. And I couldn't do this. That's Bricky. So yeah, I guess if this is a new region, I have to figure out, I can't reach this hexagon except that way. This is Bricky though. Whatever is in this spot, we can't have that happen. So it's got to go at least one of these two. So this can never touch that triangle. Because if it touches that triangle, it can't move either direction. So this piece, if it is a new piece, would have to touch this triangle. Yep, and the way to touch this triangle is either this path or this path. Both paths take the hexagon, and there's no other circle to take. We have this, we have Bricky. So I think from that we can determine this is our shape up here. This is a new shape that comes out to the triangle. So there's a shape here that has to touch a square. And the only square we can touch is here, right? This one can't reach any other square, so we got to come through here. Now we got to touch a hexagon, and we can't have brickiness here, so we actually have to touch that one, which gives us a beautiful shape there. I think we're getting somewhere now. I think we're getting somewhere. We've got this puzzle on the ropes, I think. Just pound away until it gives up. That sounded worse when I said it to how it was in my head. My apologies to everyone who doesn't find stupidity funny. So we have to bring these two pieces together. Do we know anything else? I could bring this in quite a bit, actually. Didn't really get me too far. This is also possible. This is also this is impossible. Hold on. If I bring this piece in, we have like the ultra brickiness. We would have to move it to both of those locations. Like these are all put together. Yeah. Oh, hold on. We have brickiness problem there now. So yeah, these three are all part of the same unit for sure. This piece... Could this piece here be not part of the yellow? I would have to move through here. This would have to be the unit. And this works, but is it bricky? It's not bricky. In fact, I think it just starts to solve itself. I think we just have it. Is that right? No, we don't just have it. There we go. I actually really like that one. It's a bit of an eyesore to start with, which I'm sorry, but that one, I felt really good about progressing through that one. So yeah, they're not all bad. I don't want to say every single puzzle here is, but boy oh boy, not enough of them are good. Bricky, range 2 to 4, size separation. Great. Well, let's start here. This one right here's got to extend, and then it can't leave an orphan cell there, so it's got to be at least a 3. This one right here has got to extend this direction, and so far so good. This piece also has to extend. So this piece is touching these other two. So we have a 2, 3, and a 4 among these colors. I just don't know which is which. One of these is the 2. This is at least 3, so we have that much known. Can I get more information from here? So we want to also avoid Bricky. So this is not a 2, right? Because if it was a 2, we'd have Bricky. So that means this is the 2, right there. So this could be a 3 or a 4, and it can't... If it moves down, it could also just move up, make it a 4. This, if it was a 4, would just be this piece. Like, I can do this too. I'm not 100% sure where we're going with this one. I just know that I have to extend at least one of these. So I can't bring it all the way down like this. What's this do? What's this do? Do I look elsewhere for my fun? Well, I know that down here we've got different pieces, but they could all be 1. This could be a 3, and then we could have a 4 down here. Or we could have this is the 4, and then these are new pieces. Like, any of those things are possible. So I don't actually have a guarantee over any of these other pieces. We've got something here. Let's make it, hold on, I don't know what color it is. Orange. Orange I know is domino. So this can't be a domino because we'd have a problem with that. So we got something that's not domino here. If this is not a domino, and this is 2, this is a 3 or a 4, this has got to be whatever that is not. So if this were to extend downward, we'd actually have this would be the same as that. I'll actually change the colors just in case. But it's possible, hold on, Bricky's there. So yes, whatever this red is the same as that red. And whatever this yellow is the same as that yellow. Which means yellow and red together, we have to have a domino here. That is guaranteed. The piece here has to be at least 3. I'm not sure which one it is immediately. Do we have a brickiness problem anywhere? Do we have any problems anywhere? I could bring this down. If I made this a 4, we'd know the yellow is 4 and the red is 3. Okay. Is this workable? If I make this yellow 4 like this, I think it is, because this is now a domino that moves to the right. That's unfortunate. if I don't do that, if I block this here, this piece needs to move over. Here's where the problem goes. If I put a wall right here, I say this yellow piece does not extend down. Now, this piece can't have, that's bricky, and also you can't have a single piece. So this would have to move over. Well, the trouble is, what color is this piece? Because it is touching all three other colors. So this has to move down, which means yellow, well, we already knew it was at least 3. This piece right here can't be yellow. Unless, well, that could be the same as that. Yellow could be 4. But this piece, if it's a new piece, would have to be a 2. Would have to be a domino. Which is totally fine. We don't know. If I said there was this... can't put a wall here. If I put a wall here, we got to move red down. Red's got to be... Well, if I put a wall here, I couldn't make red the 4 because then I'd have another 4. I'd have to make yellow the 4. This would be a 3, and then this would be a 2. That's if I put a wall there. If I don't put a wall there, hold on. If I don't put a wall, I'm saying this is 4. If I'm saying this is 4, I'm saying red is 3, and I'm saying this is 2. And I think either way, I have a domino under the red. Is there any universe where red is 4? No, there is not. Because this here would have to be 3, which means we'd have a solo piece here. So red is 3, and I'm going to change the color now that I know it's 3. I'm going to change it to this green color. We know those are 3s now. This yellow has to be 4. It could be here or there. Either way, this will end up being a domino. Because it can't be yellow. Because if it was yellow, it would be connected here, and then what would go here? So this is domino. So we could have a domino going this way. We could have a domino going that way. We've got somewhere, though. We've got somewhere. That's the important bit. So now I'm going to change it to blue. We know that this is 4. We know that this is 4. So if this is 3, it's got to take either that space or that space. So it can't move to the left. We can't have anything here. So we've got to have something here. We don't know what size this one is. But it's going to have to take this piece. So it's got to be at least a 3. And it's touching a 3 and a 2. So this would actually be a 4. Got it. This can't be here because it leaves an orphan cell. So that's got to be blocked. We could take this piece or we could take that one. Not sure. If I blocked it here, what would that tell me? We'd have to have... If I made this piece here, we couldn't have a domino because of brickiness. We'd have to have a 3, which would mean what goes here? Because this 3 would have to go in. We'd have a problem. So the 4 actually is a straight line. The 3 is a straight line. We're done. So here's got to be a domino or... can't be a 3 because that's going to create bricky. So it's regular domino, which means this has to be a 3. Can't be a 4 or a 2 because it's touching both of those. Ipso facto, eeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. I still don't know what we're doing with these other pieces. Oh, hold on. There's a brickiness issue here. So this right here has got to be... It's touching 2. It's touching 4. So this is a 3. Could be this way. Could be this way. If we go this way, we'd have to bring this up to avoid brickiness. But that doesn't cause a problem. This is actually a problem. Hold on a second. If I move the domino to the left here, this piece has to move in to take the space. Now here, we can't create brickiness. There has to be a piece here that takes both of these spaces. But this piece is now touching all 3 of our acceptable colors. We can't do that. So this must move to the right. And this goes up. So this has to be 4 because it's touching the other 2. And we can't go that way. Can't go that way. So it's going to be a straight line. This is going to be domino. This here has to be a 3. And it could move this way. In fact... Well, either way, this blue will have to move up. This space here, if this 3 doesn't move to the right, what would we put here? Because it's be touching all 3 pieces. This 3 has to move this way. So no brickiness, please. So there got to be a piece here. Look, it's touching a 3 and a 4, so this is going to be a domino. This is touching a 3 and a 2, so it's got to be part of a 4. Brickiness would happen here if we did that. We can't move this up, or we have an orphan cell. So now this is a domino because it touches the other 2 pieces. This one here could be the 4, or it could be part of a 3. That's it. You can do this, right? This is fine. This doesn't cause problems. This doesn't cause problems, does it? It does not cause problems that I can see. No, this does cause problems, right? Because this, if I moved, okay, right, if I moved the green up, if I moved this 3 up and I'd have to move this piece to the left. I'd have to fill it in. Now I can't put walls here and there because it's going to create bricky. So all this has to be part of one unit. But what unit is it going to be a part of? Because the max is 4. So it can't be 2 because it's bricky there. It can't be 2, it's bricky there. So it'd have to be at least 3. But it can't be 3 because it's that. So it's be at least 4. But it can't be 4 because it's that. And then it can't be larger than 4. Therefore, we do it this way. So now we have at least 2 here. This could be a 4, as long as it doesn't bend in. Either way, that's a wall, because it's either 2 or it's a 4 that goes up. This is a new shape that can't be a 2 or a 4, so it's a 3. Could bend in, we don't know. Well, if it bent in, we'd be fine. If it didn't, if it went straight up, we'd have a problem. No, it wouldn't. The 4 would be fine. There's no brickiness there. If it bent this way, it'd still not be a problem. Where can we have a problem, please? Oh, right here. This has to be a domino because it's touching 2 and 3. Or start touching 3 and 4, but it can't move to the right because it touches another domino, and it says in the Bible you can't do that. So you just do it this way. Now we're touching 2 and 3, so this has to be 4. It's not going to touch this one, so it's going to move up. This one's not going to touch that one, and it can't go this way. It leaves an orphan cell, so we do in fact have this. We have a 3 here, 4, and now we are getting somewhere. This, hold on, is a 4, and then we have a domino here, and we're bricky. I've screwed up. Okay, let's go back a bit. This is here. This can't go that way. So this, no, this is the domino. And what's this? We can't go this way because it's bricky. Is there any way I could have done this differently? I don't think I can do this part differently. This has to be 4. It can't go this way. It has to go here. This has to be 3. It's the only thing that fits. So over here, this, if this is 4, I can make this a domino. That's what it is. Because I use this as a domino, this is my own fault. I use this as a domino to be like, this could be a domino or it could be 4. But instead of using this color, which I had started designating as I don't know what color it is, I used domino, which made me think it had to be. So I had to put a 3 there. Not true. I can put a 4 here, and I can put a domino there, which would actually allow me to win the puzzle. There you go. That was a really good one as well. Okay, I'm so happy I'm ending on good ones, but there's one more to go. We're going to roll the dice here. Do we have a good puzzle? We're going to do a 5. Okay. I think it's significant that we don't have a 2 up here. I just don't know how yet. All right, let's start with this section here. Something in here tells me this is going to be important. So if I were, it kind of feels like I got to just start with something and work in. Maybe there's something significant about this. Like I can't do that, obviously. Well, hold on. How many 2s do I got? I had 35 total cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 34. Yes, I have one cell that is not a part of the dominoes. And it can't be this one. This cannot be the single cell. Because if this is the single cell... No, I could make this the single cell. But the single cell has got to be... You know, it has to be this one. The 2s can't reach, right? If it's 7 by 5, that's 35 cells. We have 6, 10, 13, 17 times 2 is 34. One cell is not a part of a domino. But this one can't reach the domino. So we just can't bring it in this way because that's bricky. But this cell has to be the non-domino. The rest of this has to move right. So we can't move this that way, which means we We got to move this that way. So we have this going on. Ah, now we can't have brickiness here. There we go. That's our break-in. That's a really clever break-in. I like that. So now that's done. So I can't move this left. It's got to go that way. Now this can't go that way. So it's got to go up. We got this. Now this can't go up. That can go. It's fine. It can't go right. So that's that. All right. I'm just hoping this is correct, but I think this is the way it's supposed to go. We can't do that sort of thing, so it's got to move either way. So this is where those go, which means this has to move that way. That's out. One of these ways works. It's this way, this way. This way it's forcing all of that. I think this is just it. That's just it. Great. Once you get that break in, though, it's kind of a trivial puzzle, but it's a good one. I like that thought. That was a good thought right in there. And we did it. It only took an hour and a half. We did it. This is interesting. There was a mix of like, I hated that shit and I loved that shit. And I kind of feel this way about the whole game. It's a very love-hate relationship with this game. I love some of it and I hate some of it. But this was fun. This is a little bit of up and down. So thanks for sticking around with probably the most like bipolar version of myself playing this game that you're going to be getting in this playthrough. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have yourselves a good one. Goodbye.